Next up, let's take a look at working with EXRs and in particular extracting the metadata from them. So a lot of the time you'll get a plate from onset, and while that was being captured, a lot of useful metadata will be added into the image, such as the camera type, maybe any focal information, this sort of thing, and all this is very useful for various departments downstream. So let's find a way to extract that and maybe write it out to in a particular format. Cool, so we've got our footage we've been using from before, and as if by magic, I wonder how that happened, we've converted it to an EXR, and I've also injected essentially some fake metadata on there for the purpose of this. So over in Tools, I've just made a new exrreader.py file, and we need to import our trusty OS utils and import a new module called OpenEXR. If you don't have this installed, just do pip install, I presume, OpenEXR EXR. I'll add a link in the documentation. Cool, so EXR dir. I'm just going to point to that footage again. So users desktop footage EXRs OS utils get files of type EXR and EXR. Cool, so if we create an EXR object using OpenEXR dot, we just need to pass the input file, and that can be the first of our EXR images, and then kv in, so key value in EXR object dot header. This is where we can extract. This is where we can see, sorry, all the metadata, and then iter items because it just returns a dictionary. Print kv. Save that and run that. And I didn't spell something correctly. EXRs. Save and run. And here we go. So here is all our lovely metadata from inside here. So you'll see we've got things like the height. So again, I mentioned I basically added some fake stuff in. That's why it's got this nuke prepend onto it. But we've got things like, here we go, pixel aspect ratio, focal distance, this sort of thing. And this is all very useful, especially if you're passing it over to a match move department or the layout team, for instance, to work with. Cool, so now we know how to access that. I'm going to paste in this big old block of text because you do not want to watch me type all that. But essentially what we do is we make an empty dictionary, and then we are just going through and extracting that data from the metadata in the image, essentially. So we're going to get the width, the height, the frame rate, aspect ratio, focus unit, model, lens model, and lens serial number. Again, some of this I've just completely made up, essentially. Great, so that will all store a dictionary of that. And that's, we're just getting it from the first image like we did with the dictionary demo. And then we create a couple of empty lists here, and we run through those again. Exactly same process, and this time we're doing it, we want to run through all the images instead of just the first one, and we want to basically store focal length and focus distance because they could obviously change throughout the shot, and then we're storing that into a focal length min, focal length max, and focus distance min, focus distance max. Great, so let's print that out. Print plate data. Save that and run that. and hey presto, we've got a dictionary with all that useful information in.